Lock in with Vito.
Okay, we live in the crib, vibing with Vito. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube at Vibing with Vito. Also follow us on the Instagram at Vibing with Vito. You already know the slogan, we vibrating higher and we always chasing purpose over popularity. Be sure to check us out each and every Monday on the Big Facts Network. You already know, each and every Monday, 8 o'clock. Man, I got somebody special in the building with me, man.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, bro?
Good, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
Yes, sir. Nice
Yeah, Brendan had a lot of good things to say about you. You know what I'm saying? For sure, for sure. Introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, everybody? I'm Lee Patterson with Credit to Real Estate Academy, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Everybody that graces this couch, I have the opportunity to ask them this question. I have the opportunity to ask you, how big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?
I feel like I'm already doing it now, man. I'm too stupid not to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do a lot of stuff, man. I just go all out in what I do because it's my passion, and like,
Facts.
there's no plan B. You feel me?
Facts. Let's stay right there when it comes down to like you said there's no plan B. You know what I'm saying? Did you know that this was your God-given life path?
So I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. So it was trying to just navigate and find out my path, right? I didn't want to do everything they did. I mean, my grandparents sold snow cones. We have a family restaurant business. I knew I didn't. I tried that.
Yeah.
And I knew that wasn't me either.
Yeah, facts. Well, so okay, so you said your family had a restaurant.
We still do. Still have a family restaurant.
Okay.
About 40 years now.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's dope to have in your family though. Like it teaches you like entrepreneurship, you know what I'm saying? Which probably were, you know, kind of like you have that in your blood now. That's what you do too, working for yourself and stuff like that. For sure. I have this slogan that I always say, purpose over popularity, right? When I say that slogan to you, how can you kind of mirror that around your life journey?
Man, just living out the purpose that God has set forth for me, because we can try to be something that we're not, and we can literally be fighting against what God's will is for us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
God,
facts.
we have a purpose. Like, God has put us here to accomplish something,
Facts.
right? We some things are more obvious than others. Like, we know who the great preachers are, the great speakers, the great basketball players. You know, God is using us for something, and then are we open to it? Or do we want to try to be like somebody else, right?
Facts.
We in a world where everybody try to copy somebody else. No, God gave you I believe we all have a great commission, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that commission God has put in us to be fulfilled, and it only can be fulfilled by us. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like,
facts.
so, like I feel that. Like, we all got DNA from my family. We got traits that
facts.
we are taking from them. We got different things that we pieces of them that we take from us that we make our own.
Facts.
You know, and for me, I can tell you a couple things from both my parents that I've taken from them and curated and made it my own.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, that's dope. Take us back on the journey though. You know what I'm saying? Who is Lee Patterson at his core? You know?
Man, Lee Patterson at his core, man, is just somebody just always wanted to make my family proud. Like, I wanted to make my last name stand out. You know, before I enter the room, people know who I am. People know that I'm what I'm about. I'm about integrity. I'm about business. I'm about putting other people first. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, my wife would tell you, like, we are givers. You know what I'm saying? Like, we almost to a fault sometimes. We were trying to help people out so much that sometimes we have to step back. Like, all right, some people just can't be helped.
They can't be.
You know what I'm saying? And so my journey here is just, you know, I just always had a passion to make my parents proud. You know, because I know what they went through. I bear my father's name. My company is LAP Investments, and a lot of people think that has to do with me being an athlete back in the day when I ran.
Yeah, facts.
But it's just my initials. You know,
Facts.
it just fit what I do or whatnot. But that's who I am, bro.
Facts. So you said one thing. You said athlete, right?
Yeah.
Take us back on that journey too as well, because like it had to be like something in your life that made you kind of switch and go down this lane. So talk about your athletic background and like when, like as a child, like what were some things you were intrigued like by and stuff?
Well, I initially wanted to be on Sports Center. I wanted to be like Stuart Scott, right?
Facts.
I wanted to.
My uncle's on Sports Center.
Yeah.
Stan Verrett.
Stanford. Oh,
Yeah,
that's one of my
facts.
favorite.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. I mean, Stuart Scott was a friend, not a friend, but I had met him before. We did an event together in Austin. That was back when I got to meet. That was like the highlight of my life.
Yeah,
I got to
dope.
meet Jordan and everything, bro. Like, it was a super dope time in my life.
Dope.
I'm coming from a small country town, Longview, Texas, 80K population. Just like most men, young black boys thought we were gonna go to the NBA. And what I'm saying? So I played ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, by the time I was a sophomore or junior in high school, man, I was a 5'9", $150.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't going to get me anywhere.
Mm.
And then I met my cross country coach, and he told me like, "Hey man, you know they give scholarships for track."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up." And I would at that point, bro, I would have did anything to get out of Longview. To create my own path.
Yeah, facts.
And if running could do it and pay for school, I'm in. I'm all in. You feel me?
Yeah, facts.
And so that's what so that was my athletic journey. So I signed, came to Georgia, ran, tried the professional thing for a year or two, but you don't make a lot of money running, right? Unless you run 100.
I mean, yeah, facts. Well, I really wouldn't know, like, but for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, what you want to see? If I ask you right now, what event you want to see, or what you pay to see? You gonna say the 100.
Yeah, facts.
You know
the 100. Yeah.
So it's the same thing with advertisers and stuff like that. It's not gonna always be. I had to make a business decision, right? And so I was like, all right, time to, get my feet wet, step into this world of just whether that's just be a man, support yourself.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had been supported by my family, then left the family, went to college, and then was supported by the university or institution you go to. Now it's like it's on you, bro.
Facts.
Now you got to use use that degree. Right? So I got my degree from the University of Georgia in speech communication. I really never used it, but I took that and started just exploring with the entrepreneurial world. Tried a lot of multi-level marketing things. Tried a lot of I tried the space of the restaurant business till I settled in on real estate.
Damn, that's crazy. So, do you feel like if you would have stayed down that path, that you would have been fully fulfilled, though?
Which one? What's path?
Like you were like an athlete, you know?
I tell people all the time, God knew what He was doing. He didn't give me that kind of money at a young age, and now these kids are making stupid money.
That's what I'm saying.
Money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't have made it. Like I don't think I would have been. I wouldn't have probably blew the money, but I can't say that I would have been 100%
at that time.
Responsible. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
As a kid, yeah,
especially coming where I'm from. Like these are getting 6 figures, bro.
Yeah,
like
thanks.
And so, which is also why this is a passion of mine, financial literacy. So all this comes back to financial literacy. I started learning a lot of stuff that I wish I would have been taught growing up.
Right.
And so as we get deep into my story, you understand why the evolution of what I've done from credit to real estate to now turn into a financial literacy course.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm
saying? Let's talk about it. So in terms of that, you got into real estate and stuff like that. Let's talk about some of your accolades when you first started, and then let's talk about some of your shortcomings. Like, when you jumped into the real estate game, like, where was your mind frame? What were you initially thinking when you first jumped into the real estate game?
So I studied the rich. So I want to know, like, what do all rich people have in common? Well, they all own some type of piece of real estate in their portfolio, right? And sometimes a majority of their portfolio was real estate. All right, so how do you get into real estate? And so the traditional way, like, all right, go to the bank, get a loan, blah, 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 have a job. When I went to the bank, I'm like, all right, I want to buy a house. What do I need? What do you need from me? Like, right, you got to know what you need. You got to have a good credit score. You got to have a, stable job for 2 years. Okay, all right, got it. And I need your tax returns. Bet. Got you, bro. Wait, what my credit score need to be? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ooh. So then I got intrigued with that. And so then once I got there, like, oh, okay, because I was responsible
building
for
your credit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like, okay, but I didn't know. I like when I tell people when you deal with credit, it's not a guessing thing. You don't have to guess. You can know for sure. You can know exactly what's on it. That's why I'm so passionate about telling people like you can fix your credit at any point in time.
Well,
any point in time.
How did you learn that though? Because a lot of times people, again,
how did I learn how to clean my credit?
How did you learn how to
credit?
Clean, fix your credit, credit and stuff like that? Because again, people, like you said, you had to kind of unlearn things to relearn things to get where you are today. And a lot of people now, they hear people like you talk about, hey, financial literacy, credit, but they still don't make that jump because they just don't think it's important until they run into a shortcoming. They're trying to buy a house or something like that. So when did you learn?
Well, it's like you got to make it your business. I made it my business. Like when you tell me something I need to do, I make it my business to figure out what exactly I need to do to get it done. And when it comes to credit, all right, what is credit? Who is these credit people? You know, is it Experian, TransUnion,
Equifax.
All right, who the hell are these people? And why are they so important? And what do they look for? Well, they look for 5 different things on your credit report. Cool, let's study them. What percentage is the most important? You know, late payments, history, all this stuff. You know, what's the makeup profile of it, right? Bam. I was like, cool. Now I just need to remember this and everything that I do to maintain a good credit score, right?
Facts.
And so I was like, cool. So next thing he told me about my job. Okay, I got a job. That's what they loaned me on. They loaned me on how much money I made and blah, blah, blah. I couldn't believe somebody would lend me. I think my first house was $95,000. I was, you know, we get a car. That was like, you know, 20K, 50K, whatever.
Right.
Like, okay, cool, I understand.
Right.
They know everybody got to drive, blah, blah. Everybody knows it's a big hustle. But almost 6 figures?
That's crazy.
To me?
Yeah.
It was just a lot of trust, you know what I'm saying? And I took that really serious. And so what else they needed? They needed that history and my tax return, right? Just showing that I had a job. And so then he told me how this all worked. It's okay, cool. So fast forward to turning this into an actual business when I went into the food business, I understood, my mentor told me how it worked. He told me how, like, yeah, we go purchase the real estate first. We put in another LLC. And then we used the actual business of a franchise. Well, I was part of a franchise called Zaxby's. And so they put the building on that dirt and let the chicken pay the dirt off as well as that percentage.
Wow.
Which comes back to the whole McDonald's, the founder. Everybody's familiar with the founder.
Right.
And so I was like, wow, I can do this. This is making sense, especially from the commercial side. And then I was just like, all right, I think I want to just go back to the commercial and single family side where I'm only dealing with a family or people. And in restaurant business, you're dealing with vendors.
You dealing with vendors,
kids,
yeah, absolutely.
Customers, parents.
Yep.
A lot of stuff.
A lot.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I like this. I like the housing method a lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And so I kind of been there, and don't get me wrong, I would invest in a restaurant in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my homework. I just can't do the work, put the sweat equity in. And all that stuff.
I feel you. What do you believe the biggest lie people are sold about with real estate wealth?
That's a great question, bro. Because honestly, I'm not concerned about the lack of information that we're getting. It's the misinformation.
Right.
Like, it's so much terrible stuff out there that you hear, and everybody think they're so far away from buying a house. They think what I do is so magical and unbelievable. I'm so lucky, and I like, good for you. You're really smart. No, man, I just kind of apply some things, ask questions, got mentorship, right, and just took off from there.
Damn. So,
that answer your question?
In a sense, like what are some of the things that you hear that's kind of like the biggest lie about the wealth, real estate wealth?
Man, just the way you buy it. If you're doing this as a business, just almost like buy anything type deal.
Damn.
And a lot of people buy emotionally, and this is not an emotional game. It's strictly numbers, bro.
Damn.
It's strictly numbers. Like, if the numbers work, then buy. If they don't, walk away. It's that simple. I don't care where it's at. I don't care how pretty it looks. Because essentially, I see a lot of mistakes being made by first-time buyers. They'll go and buy, and they'll rent it out just enough to pay the mortgage.
Right.
Well, they don't account for when stuff breaks.
Now you got to come out of pocket.
Got to come out of pocket, and rent and taxes are due.
Damn.
Right?
Talk about that too as well, because I heard, I think the governor of Florida is trying to get rid of property taxes completely.
About it. If you pay your stuff off, why are we still paying tax on it?
And I'm with him on that. He's a Republican. I'm with him on that. You know what I mean? He literally stated the same thing you just said. Like, and I feel the same way. Why do we pay on something that we already own?
Yeah, it's nuts. And so you asked me to elaborate on the tax part of it?
Yeah.
Well, for me, I like it. I don't really trip about it because, again, I run my numbers correctly. I already know. You make your money when you buy. That's what I'm saying too. Like, in real estate, you make your money when you buy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know when I buy, I got a good deal.
Facts.
right off the bat. And I know if things hit if I had to dip and leave and go somewhere, or I need to pull cash out, I need my money back so I can pay for a medical bill, for whatever,
Right.
I can sell that house.
And take the equity out.
Take the equity out, or I could borrow against it, or I could just get rid of it without taking a loss.
Damn.
You know what I mean? People take a loss on this stuff. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is why I know this is about to crank up, because I know a lot of stuff is about to go on sale. That's why we don't panic, bro. We don't panic. Like, that's why the rich don't panic when the economy goes bad, because guess what? It means everything don't sell.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is home ownership really the American dream, or is it a trap for the middle class?
Depends on how you go about it. If you got to buy right. Your home is not a asset. Meaning, what I just told you, when something breaks, you got to fix it. Right? That's not an asset. And you're not making money on it. It's not an asset. However,
I was about to say, yeah, because
if you were to pull out, if you got equity in it and you pull it out and put it into an income producing asset, now you just leverage your quote unquote liability and turn it into somewhat of a small asset.
Okay. So for the people that don't know about equity, right? And they don't know anything about like pulling the money out, if their house is going to appreciate or depreciate depending on where they buy, can you explain and elaborate on that?
Yeah, so you can always get an appraisal, right? The value of your property changes a lot depending on where you locate it. Rarely does it go down, right? And the reason that is because you're paying it down anyway because you're in it.
Right.
So even if it just maintain what you bought it at, you're paying it down.
Right.
It's not going down by a lot, but it's going down, right? Because you got principal and you got interest.
Principal
right?
and interest.
Most of the money is going to the interest when you're paying.
Right.
So people wonder why there's 15, 20, 30-year mortgages. That's your answer. The bank want to get paid off you as long as possible.
Damn.
That's why you double up. I mean, this is that's free game. If you can put your payments on weekly payments, let's just say if your payments is $1,000 a month, right? Well, it's 4 weeks in a month. You only make one payment a month. But if it's $1,000 a month, just put $250 each week. Because what happens is you're paying interest on a total amount. So if you're paying it down in between, that's less money and interest that you're paying. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So a lot of people don't think about it like that, but it's like just a small cheat code that you can use when trying to either pay. And you always hear like double up on the payments. Well, that's great. Well, you double on payments and do it like I just told you and do it weekly, man.
Then it won't. You're basically paying the principal.
See, I mean, so it's not about. Because if the lack of information, it's the misinformation that we're getting out there.
Because if you double up on payments, you're just paying the interest down. That's crazy, bro. Nobody ever said that.
You gotta tell them where the money is going. I tell them like, yo, I want to pay every single
on
week
the principal. Yeah,
on the
principal.
Okay. At the end of the month, they just need to know that you have satisfied the entire amount that you had to pay.
Facts. How did real estate personally save or break you?
It saved me by getting me out of the rat race.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't answer to nobody but her. You know what I'm saying? And she might argue with that. But again, I don't have to ask for permission to go on break, to go on vacation, to sleep in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the freedom. That's what it gave me. It gave me freedom.
Right.
What it cost me, cost you at the beginning because you're building something. Right? Cost me, I used to cut the grass. You know what I'm saying? I have to get rid of bad tenants. You have to deal with the dilapidated houses, nasty houses, just things that you just wouldn't choose to really do. You know what I'm saying? Now you just write a check and let somebody else do it.
Right.
But that's what it cost me at the beginning. It cost me a lot of time, cost me a lot of investing in myself. It challenged me to see if this is what I really wanted to do.
Right.
Type deal. Yeah.
Facts. What's something about your journey in real estate that nobody claps for, but they should?
That I really, really love what I do, and I give the game away a lot. Like before I turned this into a digital product, I was just giving it away. I mean, she'll tell you, I was giving the game. I didn't mind. I mean, look, somebody told me, yeah, you got to take the next step and dig a little deeper, And then, 'cause what happens is a buddy of mine taught me the game, or showed me what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I took the information he told me and made and crafted my own niche.
Damn.
That make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of
It's like
sense.
people like, I want to do what you do. Well, there's a lot of different ways to pluck a chicken, right? When it
Mm-hmm.
comes to real estate, like you can buy a whole, you can sell, you can wholesale, you can fix and flip, you can do a lot
Right.
of things. You feel me?
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Can generational wealth be built without owning real estate, or is that essential?
But yeah, you gotta ownership is everything, bro. And the more money you make, the more you learn. You don't want your name on it, so we'll put it in trust. We were just talking about trust on the way here.
Can we speak on that? Can we speak on trust? Like,
Yeah,
can we break
absolutely.
down trust? Because again, it's a lot of information out there.
Correct.
I'm on Instagram. I'm seeing you buy this, and then you put it all in the trust, but it's nobody telling you how to go about doing it.
Yeah,
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So when you start, you put everything in LLC. Well, LLC just limited liability.
Yeah.
Right. So it's protecting you from something, not everything. So what I do is I take that stuff and I put this stuff in under another umbrella called a trust. Put it in a trust. It's almost basically a will also.
But how do you open a trust? Like how?
You just get an attorney to do it.
Okay.
It's
All
the
right.
simplest, quickest, easiest way to do it. Get an attorney. They write it up. They're gonna ask you what are all your assets, who you want the beneficiaries to be, and that's it. It's not that hard. He'll type it up. He or she type it up, and they'll bring it back to you and let you read over it, and you sign off on it. They'll have a notary, and that's it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And so then when somebody tries to sue you, this is why you hear the whole own, control everything, own nothing. I don't own anything. I tell people, man, I don't own anything, but I control it. The rich control everything, own nothing. That's why it's hard to sue them. It's hard to sue people when they don't own anything.
Damn.
This is probably not a good time to bring it up. This is why Diddy ain't gonna lose a lot of money because everything in his mother's name.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this in terms of that, because a lot of times I'm gonna keep on saying this till my eyes bleed on here. They give you this information, but it's like they only tell you bits and pieces, right? So they tell you about like the trust, and correct me if I'm wrong. Do you pay taxes when you have a trust?
No. Trust is just something where your stuff sits. You still pay your regular business tax.
Okay, so again, because
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah. Okay, so you still pay your business taxes and stuff like that.
Unless you just running everything out of the trust. So the trust, what happens is it makes it easy also to hand it off. If something happens to me, remember I told you it's like a will. So I don't have to. My family members don't have to get it probated. That's the worst. That's the problem I run into with black people all the time when I'm buying property. 9 people's names on it because grandma didn't write a will out or didn't put it in a trust. So now I got to go and help them get all this done, and we got to find people, got to get people to agree, and then when I pay, they got to split the money up amongst each other, right? And so that's just the thing. It's like, so if something happens to me today, I got the insurance, and I got a will. She ain't got to go do a whole bunch of paperwork.
They just
Go
sign
to the
off.
lawyer. The lawyer's gonna say this is everything that he owned. This is where it's at. This is what you need to do. We'll write out a new trust because she has power of attorney, right? Because she's the beneficiary.
Right.
You see what I mean? So this
Right.
everything's simple. If I ain't had none of that, she would probably have to fight my mama for it. She have to fight.
We don't wanna
my
see that.
kids
We don't want her
for it if I
fighting your
had
mom.
Kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the trust, man, protects you in a lot of different ways, and it controls what you have built better. Also, because I can dictate where things go when I pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Some say realtors are just glorified middlemen. What's your response?
Yeah, I got a love-hate with realtors. I got a lot of realtor friends that be like, how do you do this when you don't have a license? I'm like, well, there's a lot of ways around it. I write my own contracts, 1 page. Sellers love it because it ain't all these pages and they got to figure out. They got to read through all of it and all that. Like, nobody want to do all that. So when I get them a 1-page contract and I put these simple words in there, as is, they know they ain't got to do no work. They know I'm going to buy it just like it is. And the reason I put that in there because I'm not even interested unless it's a deal.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Yeah.
Facts. Is gentrification always a bad thing, or is it just business?
It's not a bad thing when you trying to get your appraisals to go up. But
Right.
it is a bad thing. Like, I do hate it when it's kicking us out because we're not handling our business.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, gentrification happens for a couple different reasons. Like, they'll come in and buy some things up in an area because they done their homework.
Right.
Like they went to the city council meeting and they know they're about to build a hospital over there.
Right.
But we don't know that. Guess what we do? Gentrification happens not most of the time by force, because we come in and we're offered a dollar amount. We're like, oh my gosh. And then that's why they say don't give away grandma's house.
Let's talk to the people that are giving away grandma's house. What are some words of encouragement or just some smart ideas, advice?
You invested that money that you made from grandma's house. That's because once it's done, it's a wrap. And most people are not financially savvy or literate enough to know what to do with that kind of money.
Right.
You know
they're saying a lot of like big companies, like investment companies, like from out of town, are the ones that's buying up all of these houses in like the middle class and like, you know, kind of poverty-stricken environment areas. Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah. So when you say gentrification, so for me, I see both sides of it. Like
facts.
Like they're starting to come around me and they're getting it, and they're buying around me. It just makes my property value go up. But also I see people of our culture
getting pushed
kicked
out
out of play.
That's crazy.
And for me, I'm just like, a lot of times they don't have to sell, but sometimes they're forced to sell just because it's closing in on them, then taxes go up. I think there's a way you can combat it, you can fight it, but a lot of us don't know how. We don't know who the state representative. We don't know all those channels to go through.
Right.
Because if you go to the rich people's side and try to move a bunch of black people in there,
man, they not going. they not going.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so that's the love hate with gentrification. It's one of those things. We can fight it. We can do a lot of things. However, we got to figure out. We just need the knowledge, bro. It really comes down to knowledge, because a lot of this stuff we can combat and fight, but people giving away grandma's house,
and
they giving it away to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I ain't talking about because I was going in to gentrify, because I was going in to, because I most of my stuff is buying hoes, so I buy it and I rent it. So you can call it. I rent to whoever can pay the rent. So you can call it gentrifying if you want to, but if the blacks can pay the rent, it's gonna say black.
Right.
If Mexicans or whites can pay, that's what it is.
Yeah, facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts. Should landlords feel guilty about raising rent in the market if the market allows it?
So, great question. When I buy, now I don't really deal with it much, because now I hired a property manager. But I literally used to go, hey man, look, for this to work for me, I just bought this house. For it to make sense for me, I have to raise the rents to the market rate. And the guy, showed me how to do this. He was like, just tell them to go and look for what a 2-bedroom, 1-bath is going for, right? And then tell them come back to you and ask them what they think is fair.
Yeah.
And every time they
come back and then they're like, we could
with a number that is for the most of the time fit what you think, because they'll see like, it's real
right
out there. Yeah. So that's how I usually handle it.
Facts. What's a valuable asset right now? Is it clout or land?
You already know, the land.
For sure. Would you rather own 100 doors or have 100 million Instagram followers with no asset?
Yeah, 100 doors easily.
Let's get it. What's one real estate myth that needs to be killed right now for black entrepreneurs?
A real estate myth?
Yeah.
That you got to have your own money to buy real estate? Yeah. I don't use my money. Yeah.
He said that proudly. He was like, well, I don't use my money.
You should tell you. I don't use my own money, bro.
Nah, facts.
Too much other people's money out there. Man, they're giving money away. I mean, you see it with the government. That's just government.
Yeah, facts.
So money, they giving money away to people that's worthy of getting it.
Facts. What's one thing right now that you're most like proud of? You know what I'm saying, on your journey, just in life or just in general?
I don't know, that I just didn't quit. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
This ain't easy. And I'm not sitting there like, man,
you got a smile on your face, so people may think that it is.
No, just like
the way you know.
Because I always tell people, like, this is what the other side of risk look like. I'm here to sit here and share my story with you on your podcast to your wonderful followers and subscribers and whatnot. I'm able to travel around the world. I mean, I was on a jet 2 weeks ago going to Miami to speak on other podcasts. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's on the other side of risk. And so if I never took the risk, then I would just still be in my same situation. That's why when people come into my program or even on one of my webinars, they're like, look, nothing changes if you don't change, right? You can try this and exponentially change your life, or you can do this, and even if you fail, right? What changes? Nothing changes.
Right.
Your life stays the same. It's not like it gets worse
Right.
from giving it a try.
Right.
You know, and a lot of us are just scared to try.
Facts. If you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be and why?
Start sooner. Yeah.
You feel like you started too late?
Man, I'm 47, man.
Bro, but do you feel? But a lot of times, like your journey, even the way when you started something else, I feel like that makes you who you are. Like that's your identity.
I mean, but you asked me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I coulda.
Yeah.
But I mean, I truly believe the Lord has me exactly where He wants.
Facts.
But you said if I can tell myself.
Yeah,
man,
facts.
Hey, fool, I probably wouldn't even waste my time running.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
I'd literally start studying real estate as soon as I hit ninth grade. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
I'd have been mature enough to understand what a house is. That's why I have it bamboozles me that they don't talk about this in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like taxes, interest, compound interest, all these things. I heard them. I have no idea what they do, but they were really important on my journey,
right,
to getting financial freedom.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? But you still don't hear about it to this day.
Facts.
That's why I turned this into a product, financial literacy, and got a platform on school so people can learn this stuff. Yeah, man.
Damn. This segment of the show is Vibing with Vito. Shout outs, bro. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to shout out, man. Shout out you guys, man. Shout out my lovely wife over here, this is her first one. She's came to me on.
Really?
Yeah. So, because I be rolling.
Support system strong.
Yeah.
Salute.
So my mentor Smitty, you know, and my support team, the people who pray for me, my parents. Man, I got a lot of people. It's not just me, bro. I've never sit up and just beat my chest like it's me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just so happen to be the face of it, just to be the one that God entrusted with this vehicle to make it do. That's why, like, I'm a big component of giving back. You know what I'm saying? And just I mean, I get way back more. I get way more than 10%. But like, man, this stuff can be gone tomorrow, man.
Facts.
I can get sued tomorrow. It'd be hard for them to get it, but you know, some stuff can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can put in a bind in a minute.
Right.
You know, so I know this stuff can be as quickly as it can. It can quickly be gone.
Damn.
Yeah. So I try to keep it in perspective like that. Keep my life simple.
Yeah.
Kind of live my life through experiences.
Right.
And through watching how we bless other people.
Like that's a bar right there. That's a bar right there.
My flex is my mom's house paid off. My brother's house paid off. Her car's paid off. You know what I'm saying? We travel the world. We over 40 countries. You know what I'm saying?
Go.
I own property in Dubai. You know what I'm saying? Like, just those are my flexes.
Man, don't flex on me on my own podcast now. I'm playing with you.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't.
Nah, that's real. That's real.
I don't wear a bunch of fancy stuff.
Yeah, facts,
I don't drive
facts.
fancy cars.
You don't need it.
You know what I'm saying? Because I just know I just need to get to point A, point B, and I just need to be able to sit here on your podcast and not get kicked out for.
Nah, you good, bro. Bro, thank you for coming to vibe with me, bro. It's an honor. Again, like I was doing my own due diligence and going down your page and stuff like that. So I like what you stand for, like what you represent, and how you're teaching people like me. You know what I'm saying, and others that are watching. You know what I'm saying, how the game's supposed to really go.
Sir.
Yeah, facts, bro. Tell the people where they can find you.
They can find me at Lee A. Patterson on Instagram and pretty much across all platforms. And also I'm about to kick off my 5-day challenge where I'm going 5 days straight. I'm just going to be giving game away on how from A to Z, from how to shift your credit to collecting them keys. That's actually what we're going to call it.
Collecting them keys.
Yeah, collect them keys, man.
Man, that's hard.
And again, this is how I got started by clearing my credit, how I funded myself, how I found the real estate, how I put them on the contract,
Facts.
all that good stuff. Then
Damn,
I'm gonna
bro.
bring some friends.
Yeah, bro.
We're gonna drop the game, man. So I'm excited about that. And then on my Instagram, you can find my school community. It's free. I got a free school community. I give everything I just talked about. I give that away in there because that is what we need.
Damn.
Show you.
Yeah, you really you being a vessel for real.
Yeah.
Nah, salute,
I mean,
bro.
obviously, if I gotta hold your hand, we take.
Yeah.
We gotta be out.
But you gonna give it. You gonna give it to
I'm gonna
him.
give the game.
Yeah,
I just want to give value, bro.
Man, that's
you know what I'm
real.
saying? Like I've been blessed to be a blessing.
That's hard.
And so obviously I got to make a living too, but there's also a lot of things I can do to still bless people without raking them and taking money out of their pocket.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Damn, that's real, bro. Thank you again for coming, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate you.
Man, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's been another episode of Vibing with Vito. You already know the slogan. We vibrating higher, and we always chasing purpose over popularity. Me and Lee Patterson.
Yep.
Let's get it.
Yeah.